Hey guys, what's going on? This is your boy RJ Gaming News USA here, back today with another video. And today, I want to go over the review scores for Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. And I gotta say, they're very interesting. It's a 92% overall on Metacritic as of the time of this recording. Not Metacritic, Rotten Tomatoes as of the time of this recording. And I gotta say, there's been a lot of movies that have been coming out lately that have gotten high Rotten Tomatoes scores. At least, especially in the beginning. Like Undertone and Project Hail Mary and now Ready or Not 2. And I'm not sure how this is all going to settle out. It's an hour and 48 minute long movie. It's a horror, comedy, mystery, thriller. Probably going to skip this one, me personally. I didn't even watch the first one. There's nothing about the movie that necessarily seemed super appealing to me. The trailers were mildly entertaining. Somehow I'm more entertained by that concept of the movie than I am Project Hail Mary. So, like, overall, just not feeling like a movie weekend for me on March 20th, but it can be for you. So let's go over these reviews. Like, share, and subscribe if you support independent media. There's not a lot here. There's only 13 reviews at the time of this recording. Versus, let's say, a Project Hail Mary has 134. So take everything with a grain of salt when you decide to make your final decisions on what movie, if any movie, you plan on seeing Friday, March 20th. So, let's discuss here. We have a Rotten Tomato right out the gate from Gregory Newson, who says, Ready or Not was a chess match. Here I Come is tic-tac-toe. So they didn't like the sequel very much compared to the original. Then we have Megan Navarro with a fresh tomato, who says, more is more in Ready or Not 2. Bigger stakes, larger playing field, a higher and more gruesome body count, and even double the protagonist. All designed to deliver maximum crowd-pleasing fun. Pam Nermoff with a fresh tomato says, what an example of a perfect casting. It's Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton as sisters. Their rhythm together is impeccable, and their aces playing with this tone. They do it all. Spark big laughs, maintain a grounded tension, and infuse the film with heart. Again, after the incident with the bride, we have to be worried. Is this going to be some sort of feminist slop film? We do have to consider that. Harry Stainer with a fresh tomato, who said, Round 2's double or nothing approach means that there are fewer surprises this time around. Yet as Weaving's endlessly watchable bride gets even bloodier, it's hard not to crack a smile at the relentless fun. Josh Corgut with a fresh tomato says, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come confirms Samara Weaving has one of the genre's most talented stars and gives her perfect showcase to shine her brightest. BJ Colangelo with a fresh tomato says, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come proves to be just as explosively fun as its predecessor, even if it's essentially the same but more. We see that all the time in video game sequels, right? Where it's the same concept, the same idea, sort of repeated, but it's bigger, it's better, it's bolder, there's more to it. And so, I'm not surprised to see that in like a movie setting. You know, we see that in movies too. Sarah Campbell with a fresh tomato says, nothing about the original necessarily posed the need for a continuation, but if they want to give it to us, hey, I'm not complaining. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come is every bit the blood-soaked sequel we wanted. Glenn Gardner with a fresh tomato says, this action-packed, blood-soaked sequel is what fans have been waiting for the past 7 years, hopefully paving the way for a trilogy in this sinister world Radio Silence has created. Has it really been 7 years since the first Ready or Not? Dude, I swear to God, time fucking flies. I could have sworn Ready or Not came out maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, tops. 7 years have passed. That's crazy. That's crazy. How about a fresh tomato from James Preston Poole, who says the radio silence directing duo have never felt this confidently brash or ambitious, fully relishing in their bloody chaos and absurdity. You can't go wrong when Sandra Weaving and Catherine Newton are also at their funniest here. Kind of wondering how funny is this movie? How slapstick is it? You know. Andy Crump, with a fresh tomato, says Weaving is great at expressing helpless surrender and white-knuckle petrification. The effect of her performances is cathartic, frequently hysterical, and key to Ready or Not 2 Here I Come success. Tom Jurgensen, with a fresh tomato, says Ready or Not 2 Here I Come is an agreeable, if unnecessary, sequel which through its larger scale proves that less is often more. So he still gave it a fresh tomato, but he did like the original more than the sequel, is what he's saying here. Samantha Nelson, with the fresh tomato, says while there aren't as many big laughs or surprises as the first film, Ready or Not 2 has some incredible moments, but if Bentantini, Oplin, and Gillette send Grace on a third killing spree, hopefully they'll make it a bit more focused. And finally, we have one more review from Catherine Booth, who says, with a fresh tomato, Ready or Not 2 Here I Come brings much of the same energy as the first film, so by design, it is not the same as the original, but it has enough fun, characters, and kills to justify its own existence. Now, if we go through here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fresh tomatoes. A single rotten tomato that was by Gregory Newson at the top here by Screen Rant. That is the only rotten tomato. That is the only thing keeping this film from being a perfect 100. Although the math here ain't quite mathin'. No, it is mathin'. It is mathin'. Yep. A single review prevents Ready or Not 2 from being 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. And you know this guy probably saw this movie was at 100%. It was like, I gotta fix this shit. I gotta go in there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But 13 reviews is not a lot. So, like, you gotta take that score with a grain of salt. Let's do this real quick. What did the first Ready or Not get? We got to know. Because, okay, so for context sake, 324 reviews for the first Ready or Not, and that's sitting at 89%. Now, we did see even in some of these fresh reviews here that they did like the first one more than the original, or more than the sequel. So, I don't know, this could come down to earth a little bit. I feel like after many reviews, this movie could go down at 85%. I could see a few more negatives thrown in there. But the first movie, 89%'s nothing to sneeze at. That's a... You know, that's a good score. I don't know why I never watched this movie. Like, it seemed like a trailer I was somewhat interested in. I think because, believe it or not, even though I've been wanting comedies in theaters more, when I noticed this movie was not being serious, I got disinterested, actually. Back then in 2019, I think that was my thought process. Now I may have to rethink that process. I'm not going to watch Ready or Not 2 if I haven't seen the first Ready or Not. I'm not doing that. So, I don't know what I'm doing for the weekend of Friday the 20th. I could watch Project Hail Mary. I could watch Ready or Not 2. I haven't decided. I could watch neither and just get ready for the Mario movie. But anyway, guys, what do you think? Let me know in your comments below. Are you going to watch Ready or Not 2? If so, let me know. And until next time, this is RJ signing out. Have a good one.